Hi everyone! If you're new here, I'm Allen with Earthglow, and this channel is all about sharing the joy of candle making. So in today's video, I'm going to be unboxing and giving you my out-of-the-bottle first impressions of a ton of new oils from Doop Fragrance Company. So this is a brand new company for me, and they did reach out to me and offer to send me some oils to review on my channel for you all. And if you don't know anything about me, I'm a little bit obsessed with fragrances and proud. But anyways, let's get right into today's video, and I hope that you enjoy. So before we get into the unboxing, just a few little things about this company. They are a Texas-based company, and what's super cool about them is that their fragrances are supposed to be like an elevated experience. And you all know that I'm always looking for oils that are, you know, like high-end type of scents. And this whole company's mission is to basically make their own version or duplication, hence the name, of high-end fragrances. And so if you look at the descriptions on many of their oils, you will see the scent that they're actually trying to make their own version of or duplicate. And that's really nice because a lot of us have fragrances that we really love, that we've tried before, and so to be able to offer a similar version in our own lines is really, really cool. And their fragrances are inspired by food, travel, botanicals, and even memories, which, you know, is really cool. Scent is one of those things that can take us right back to a certain place in our lives and can be super nostalgic. But anyways, let's get right into this unboxing. Oh, one more thing that I wanted to mention, as I always do, this video is in no way sponsored or affiliated, but they did reach out to me and offer to send these fragrances, and they told me that they were sending a selection of their best sellers as well as ones that they thought that I would really like. So I'm super excited to get into this unboxing. Oh my gosh, cannot wait. There's feels like there's so many oils in here too. This box is really, really heavy. Okay, so just like Candle Science and many of the fragrance companies, in focus, they do use these biodegradable packing peanuts, and you can just dissolve them in water. They're primarily made of cornstarch, and that's super nice. I also love to reuse those packing peanuts when I'm packing my orders. But okay, so I think I'm gonna, oh my god, there's so many oils in here. Oh my gosh, you all see this? This whole box just filled with oils. Is this like Christmas time for me? Oh my, New York City Rain. Oh my gosh. Oh, we have Raspberry Blossom, Rattan Wicker. I'm really curious about that one. It seems like it's gonna be like some woody, earthy scent or something. Matcha Latte. Okay, so Candle Science, I recently reviewed a matcha and bergamot, I believe it's called, fragrance from them. Designer leather, all right. Been very critical of some leather fragrances on this channel. Flower Head. What else do we have? Oh my god, French Riviera. Really excited for that one. You all know I've got a whole line of my candles, the Wanderlust collection, that's centered on cities around the world. Okay, and then this one is called Miami Rainstorm. Oh my gosh, a lot of these are really Italian pignoli cookies. I should know how to pronounce that since I basically grew up on Italian food, but I don't. Kashmiri Chai. That one sounds very intriguing, like it's gonna be some sort of a warm and cozy fragrance. We got Sea Glass. We have, I'm just like a 5-year-old at Christmas time here. Velvet Persimmon. I recently reviewed Candle Science's Persimmon Citron fragrance, which I really love, by the way. And not out of the bottle, but after it was in a product. This one is called Oob Macaron. Probably slaughtering the pronunciation there. Ooh, red lipstick. We have Rodeo Drive. Moheli Ylang. Oh my gosh, I don't even know what to try first. There are so many of these oils that sound so intriguing. Let's just go for this Rattan Wicker. So I'm thinking that this one is going to be kind of like a sandalwood or something that's very earthy and woody with a lot of base notes to it. But I'm thinking that it's gonna be, again, I'm expecting something pretty elevated with all of these oils just because of their mission statement with their brand. So, and I've smelled a lot of very elevated oils. Most of you know that I have tried, oh my God, you guys, I am smelling something like from a foot away. Oh, I can't even, what I was gonna say is that I've tried a lot of oils from Stone Candles and from 1617, and I love my designer fragrances. You all know that I've, for a long time, collected perfumes and colognes. So, let's take a look at this Rattan Wicker. And you guys, by the way, these are 2-ounce sample bottles. I don't know if I showed that. You guys, I can literally smell this fragrance oil. I'm not even near it. This is, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. You guys, this is the very first oil I have smelled, and my immediate thought is, how have I not checked out this company yet? Oh my gosh. This reminds me of, okay, so it's kind of like if Oud Wood by Stone Candles and like a really like rich bourbon had a baby. You get almost that Tom Ford Oud Wood accord with this one. And by the way, I'm gonna put all the notes up on the screen as I smell these, but I will not be consulting. So they did send me a list of notes for each of the fragrances. Well, I'm not gonna show it to you all, but it'll be on the screen what their notes were. And if I can fit all on the screen, I'll try to put it up. But I'm not consulting anything whatsoever. I have not read anything or consulted anything. I wanted to be totally surprised. And I honestly I can't pick out individual notes very well in this fragrance. I'm definitely getting a woody, earthy tone, but it's a very upscale Tom Ford-esque type of a scent. That really reminds me of their Oud Wood, but it's almost a warmer version of Oud Wood. For those of you who don't know, I use Oud Wood by Tom Ford, a Stone Candles version of that, blended with Candle Science's Sandalwood. And this oil is definitely along those lines. Wow. So if you have smelled Aztecs, bow ties, and bourbon, if you blended that with Oud Wood by Tom Ford, that's like the essence of this kind of a fragrance. All right, next up, let's take a look at this Kashmiri Chai. I really, really love the names. So it looks very exotic. I'm expecting something that's gonna be warm, like a chai, maybe with some spice to it, but also something that has that textile element, that slightly elevated or very elevated textile element of like, I don't want to say like a cocoa butter cashmere. I'm thinking something more high-end than that in terms of being a textile, but along the lines of like if you've tried flannel or maybe a cocoa butter cashmere. The cashmere cord is a very specific thing that it's hard to articulate, but it basically ends up smelling, in my opinion, like a very high-end textile. So let's give this Kashmiri Chai a test here. Okay. So I'm definitely getting a chai fragrance. I'm getting that star anise note. I'm getting a cinnamon note to this one. I'm definitely getting like a black cardamom note to this as well. Ooh, geez, and now I'm gonna be wearing it. Oh my gosh. This is only our second fragrance oil, and I've got the big towel out here, which is usually what I have behind the scenes when I'm doing these videos. Okay, so yeah, I'm getting mostly spices to this one. I'm not picking up a strong cashmere note. I'm definitely getting a true to life chai note. Again, it's like that nutmeg, star anise. It's not overly cinnamon heavy. I know that that can be off-putting for a lot of people, myself included. But I'm getting more of like a star anise note to this, a black cardamom note. But it's warm, like it has a cream note to it. I maybe wish that there were more kind of textile notes, maybe some more like base notes to balance out the spices a little bit more. But this is a very, like if you're looking for a chai spice, this is probably the most true to life chai spice fragrance I have smelled. And I've been known to blend different fragrance oils to try to achieve a good chai fragrance. And this Kashmiri Chai definitely kind of has that already integrated into it. Okay, next up, let's check out, let's check out this red lipstick. This is really out there. I have no idea what to expect from a fragrance called red lipstick. I think that is really out there. It's very intriguing to me. It sounds like it could be some sort of like a vintage interpretation of something that could be kind of along the lines of like a rose quartz type of a fragrance is what I'm expecting. Something that's kind of sweet, maybe has that kind of champagne pop to it with some maybe alcoholic notes, like a Bellini type of a scent. And yeah, that's kind of what I'm expecting. Okay, I got these new blotter strips from Amazon and they're so fat. I have to be really careful not to spill here. Yeah. Wow, but this really does smell like lipstick. Wow. Yeah, okay, so this smells like an elevated cherry lollipop. But actually, like, if you were to put cream into it almost, and it literally smells like lipstick. It has that slightly, like, creamy, waxy undertone that you get when you smell lipstick. And it almost has, like a cheesecake accord of some sort. If you ever tried one of those, like, cherry cheesecake type of lollipops with the cream swirls in them, it smells like that. But this is definitely something that I would say out of the bottle is a high-end scent. I get a very prominent cherry note to this. I don't even know if there's cherry in this. Maybe a strawberry note as well. I like this, and I'm really surprised. It's not one of those that's kind of headache-inducing. I give Candle Science's Rose Petal Gelato a really tough time for that. I have to really blend that one down with a lot of sandalwood. But this is like a soft, very well-balanced lipstick. I think it's very true to name, and I'm genuinely intrigued by this oil. I think I will be testing a lot of these out in probably some sort of a designer candle wax. I'll probably test them out in one of 1617's waxes. I've been really enjoying their Soy Bliss wax. Some other sellers have that one as well, but I think I'll probably be testing these in something other than 464, just because most of you who are going to be making candles with these are not going to be using 464. You're going to be marketing more towards a high-end type of clientele and probably using like a cocoa apricot or one of the more designer type waxes. Let's check out this next one here. I don't know French very well, but I think that this is Vintage Boudoir. I have no idea. And that is also very intriguing to me because I'm always looking for scents that have that kind of vintage, kind of jazz lounge, almost vintagey, urban-esque type of a feel. So I have no idea what to expect from this one. The name is very interpretative on this one as well. I think that it could mean a lot of different things. I'm maybe expecting like something earthy, maybe leathery, but it could also have like some dried florals to it. I have no idea. Okay, so here we go. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. This takes me right back. This one is coming off lighter out of the bottle, but this takes me right like into like a luxe kind of vintagey, almost like apartment, like studio. Wow, this definitely has an old world feel, but it's almost like a future primitive, a future vintage type of a scent, where I'm getting a lot of modernistic appeal to this one as well. And it has like almost a warm luxe kind of vanilla quality to it, maybe like a vanilla bourbon almost. I'm gonna try swelling this out of the bottle. Yeah, it almost has like a warm, like if you've ever smelled like natural beeswax before you like put fragrance into it, just like yellow beeswax, it almost has that type of accord. I wonder, I'm gonna smell this again. It's a very complex scent. Maybe even reminds me of Makesy's Native Heliotrope in Cashmere Woods a little bit, if any of you are familiar with that oil. Yeah, this is very elevated. Every single scent that I have smelled so far from this company, I would say absolutely meets my elevated, like, luxe type of a radar. Yeah, I'm really intrigued by this one. I am a little concerned out of the bottle how it might throw in a candle, just because this one is lighter than the other 3 that I've tried, but I just whacked myself in the face with a blotter strip. Oh my god. All right, next up, let's take a look at, let's take a look at this Bondi Beach. Again, I hope I'm pronouncing that one right. And this scent, I am expecting something that could be like kind of like a sea minerals type of aesthetic, or almost like a high tide type of aesthetic if you've smelled either of those scents by Candle Science, but more elevated. Maybe more like, I'm not gonna say ozonic by Stone Candles. I'm very critical of that scent. I know a lot of people like it, but definitely something that's going to have a sophisticated well-roundedness to it, and nothing that's gonna be too sweet, too, you know, a lot of people ask like, what makes an elevated scent? And one of the main things that I would say to them is a very well-rounded accord, something that is so cohesive in of itself that you don't even really know, you can't really pick out individual, like you don't get individual notes as much. It's more of like a very well-rounded accord that it makes. All right, so this is Bondi Beach. And yeah, I would say out of the bottle, this is a very fresh scent. This one is coming off a little bit lighter as well. I can't quite pinpoint anything that I've smelled that's like this, other than saying that, again, this is like definitely a designer type of a fragrance. It has a very prominent top note, I believe, of something citrusy, maybe a lime top note or a lemon, or a petitgrain type of a top note to it. And you do kind of get almost that suntan type of a lotion scent, but it's nothing like Nature's Garden. I know some of you have seen my video where I gave them a really hard time on their, I think it was their French Vanilla Oak. There were several scents that I equated to basically suntan lotion, and this scent, I would say, smells like a very high-end suntan lotion, but you also get like a citrusy top note to it that, again, is just so well-rounded and cohesive. But it's a fresh, kind of beachy scent that has a very prominent, like bitter orange, not bitter orange, it's like a lime almost aesthetic in my opinion. Let's take a look at, oh yeah. So this next oil is called Designer Leather. And for those of you who don't know, I'm very, very critical of leather fragrances. I want something that's like a very soft leather. I've given Candle Science a really hard time for their leather fragrance oil because to me it smells almost aggressive and just kind of like very just overtly masculine in an aggressive way that I don't like at all. So for them to be calling this a designer leather, to me says that this is going to be something that's probably a little bit softer, more subdued, more just high-end smelling and blended and have its own accord that I am really excited for. So let's see what this designer leather is going to do for us. And I'm going to try not to spill. Oh. Okay, yeah, I mean, this is a very true to life leather fragrance. I would say that to me, this is something that I would use as a blender. This is not a fragrance that I would probably put as a standalone scent. I'm curious how it would smell in wax, but this definitely smells like, I mean, I just got a leather sofa that is a genuine white leather sofa, and this smells exactly like my couch smelled when it came in. It's a true to life leather. Personally, I think that this is probably my least favorite of everything I've smelled so far, just because I am not really into those true to life leather scents. But if you are looking for something that is like that, I would definitely recommend checking out this designer leather fragrance, because this is leather to a T, and I'm not getting, it smells like you're walking into a leather store basically. And you know, this one's not for me. Take a look at, let's take a look at the Sriracha fragrance. So I'm really curious what this would smell like in an oil. I'm very familiar with Sriracha, the spice, but like this hot sauce, but I have no idea how that would translate into a fragrance oil. That's something that I would never think of putting into an oil. But oh my God, I'm smelling something that smells exactly like Sriracha hot sauce from a foot away here. And yes. Okay, so this smells exactly like Sriracha, but it also has more notes to it that I'm picking up as well. And they're making it work in a fragrance. So I wouldn't brand this as Sriracha really, just because personally I wouldn't want something that's called like a tomato fragrance in my candle line. But what this is blended with is like the warmest type of fruits, like exotic fruits. I'm picking up maybe a guava, maybe a passion fruit, maybe some pineapple type of an accord. And they're very warm notes that are being blended with this spice, but they're like refreshingly warm. And so they're not like hot warm like Sriracha. And it just kind of brings this really, I would say, elevated tropical fragrance. This one is another one that could mean a lot of things, right? Like you might expect something that's kind of earthy, maybe has a little bit of that kind of leathery accord to it. That's maybe a sweetgrass accord with some leather notes to it. But yeah, I have no idea what to expect from this fragrance. Yeah, okay. This is a very fresh scent. This is not what I was expecting at all. I would say that this is, well, okay, I am picking up as this dries down on the strip, more of a sweetgrass type of a scent, but it's more of a fresh, like very clean type of a scent. And so if you like those types of after the rains sort of fragrances like a fresh cut grass, I think you're gonna really like this if you're looking for something along the lines of that that's more elevated. There's something in this that's fruity. Maybe it's a lychee note or, oh my God, I just whacked myself in the face with a cap. Yeah, there's something fruity. I don't know if it's lychee. It's not peach. It's an exotic fruity note that's not really tropical, but it's kind of bordering that I'm picking up in this, along with those fresh, clean, ozonic notes. And I am getting a warm base to this, like maybe a sheer woods or some type of a warm cedar wood type of a base. It's very clean, it's very cohesive, and again, I would say that this is definitely an elevated high-end oil out of the bottle. Let's take a look at this Funfair Date. This is called Funfair Date, and again, I have nothing to, I have no idea. That could mean a lot of things. I might expect something maybe floral, something that is gonna be maybe like you're going on a date at night, something tropical maybe. So yeah, let's see what this one is gonna do for us. Ooh, this is really different. This takes me somewhere and I can't quite, it's something that's almost like, I would say it's almost got that kind of like red, like a saffron note to it. Or it has like an Indian, something that's really high end in type of like something from India maybe. Wow, I have no idea what I am smelling. I am getting some fruity notes to this one, but it's not a fruity fragrance. I'm getting more of like an oriental type of a quality to this almost that I really am intrigued with. I'm not gonna say that I like it, but I'm intrigued with it. And this also reminds me of something that I can't quite put a finger on. It is coming off lighter out of the bottle than I would like, because a lot of these oils from this company have been very prominent, and this one is one of the lighter ones out of the bottle. Yeah, this almost has like, I don't want to say it smells like cotton candy, because it doesn't, but it has a sweet note to it. It's not like candy, but it's almost like a fruity, it's a very happy fragrance, I would say. Okay, next up, let's take a look at this Lavender Vetiver. Now, this is a combination that I think would go really well together. So vetiver kind of already has those kind of like deep resonant bass floral notes to it almost. And I'm really curious how that would pair with lavender. I think that it's going to be something very woody, earthy, and definitely high-end smelling. So let's see what Lavender Vetiver by Doop is gonna do for us. Oh my goodness. Wow. Okay, so I'm definitely picking up the vetiver, actually more prominently than the lavender. This is a very resonant bass-like fragrance. I can see this being a good blender. Yeah, I'm definitely getting more vetiver. I'm getting like 80% vetiver, 20% lavender. And it's not a skanky kind of vetiver. It's more of an elevated vetiver. So I like the vetiver by Candle Science, but that one does have more of kind of a skankiness to it, but it's a really good skankiness. I did feature that oil in my top 10 blenders, but this one has more of a clean, kind of well-roundedness to it. And it could be the lavender with the vetiver that's giving that aesthetic. But yeah, I'm definitely intrigued with this oil. I might use it as a blender. It's probably how I think I would end up using it rather than on its own, just because it is coming off lighter out of the bottle, which is typical of those base heavy fragrances. And lavender itself is more of a middle note. I wouldn't really consider lavender a top note. Anyways, let's go ahead and do one more or two more oils, just as a bonus for those of you who are still watching. So this next one is gonna be the Ylang fragrance, and I absolutely, well, Ylang is one of those notes that I didn't used to like, but it's kind of grown on me the more that I have smelled it, and it's become one of my favorite type of top notes. And I'm really not into florals either, but it's definitely one that has grown on me. So let's see what this Moheli Ylang is gonna do for us. And yes, this is very floral. It's very, it's kind of a more heady floral. I'm definitely picking up some lavender, maybe some clove buds, maybe a little bit of lilac to this one even. The Ylang is definitely prominent as a top note, but this one is gonna be for the more floral fans. I might even pick up like a clean, like freesia note to this one, but it's definitely one that I would say is a spring to summertime type of a floral fragrance. All right, so I'm gonna do one more oil in this video. Let's take a look at this Miami Rainstorm. So this one, I really am intrigued by the name with, just because I love any oil that has to do with like a country or a city. It's kind of my whole branding. And so for it to be like a rainstorm, that could mean like a petrichor, that could mean like a, oh my God, and I'm smelling something again from a foot away that is not what I was expecting. So let's just go ahead and smell this Miami Rainstorm and see what it's gonna do. Oh my gosh, yes. Okay, so I'm definitely getting like a petrichor type of a note to this. And for those of you who don't know what that is, it's kind of almost like the smell of the pavement after it rains. It has a very earthy smell. Some people have equated Candle Science's petrichor to the smell of like topsoil. I know Michael Aponte with Candle Romance did, and I definitely would agree. However, I did like that oil. This one though has much more of a blended quality to it. So you definitely get that kind of dirt, earthy type of a feel, but then you also get that sort of a just kind of rainwater, but almost like a fruity, like there's a garden almost that's kind of like blossoming off to the side, and you get those kind of fruity and floral notes to this one as well, blended with the petrichor accord. And I'm really intrigued with this one. I think that it could be a nice, clean, but earthy and also fruity blend that a lot of people may end up liking. So I'm going to be mentioning my 3 favorites from this video, and this was actually really hard because there were a lot of oils that I was quite intrigued with actually, but I did end up choosing, well, I technically chose 4, but I couldn't make my decision. There's a tie for number 3, and so yeah, so coming in my number 3 position, this is a tie. So this is Red Lipstick and Vintage Boudoir. And I could not make up my mind. Both of these fragrances, they're so intriguing to me. The red lipstick literally smells like red lipstick. If you ever have smelled that, when I was a gal for years and years, I wore a red lipstick every day as well. And it smells like it to a T, but in the best possible way. And the Vintage Boudoir is like, it just takes me right back to something that's like almost like a closet or something, or like a studio that's vintage, and you're walking in and it's like an 1800s building, and they have the long windows with the kind of black accents, and you have the brick on the wall, and you go in and you're just like taken back in time almost. And Oh, it's like an elevated vintage store or something. Like a boutique, some sort of a scent that you would smell throughout a very elevated boutique in like Manhattan. Okay, so those are my number 3s. And then in my number 2 position, I am shocked at this, but this is the, if we can get it to focus here, Sriracha fragrance. And I did not think I was gonna like this oil, but I ended up really loving it. And I would say to not judge this one off of the cap. I would say to let it really dry down on the blotter strip, because for me personally, I pick up a lot more of the Sriracha notes on the cap, and when it dries down, I pick up more of that balance of the more tropical notes to it, and I'm very intrigued with that oil. And my number 1, unquestionably, is Rattan Wicker, and I'm so glad that they sent me this oil. I was so intrigued by this one. And yeah, the more I smell it, it reminds me of an elevated mahogany and teakwood type of a fragrance. Like if you've smelled mahogany and teakwood by the Flaming Candle, it's kind of like that, but more of like if Tom Ford were to do a mahogany and teakwood. It's so good. But anyways, that is going to be all for this one. Thank you again to Doop for sending me these oils, and stay tuned for part 2. If you did enjoy this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below of which of these fragrances you would most want to check out, or if you have tried any fragrances from Doop Fragrance Co., what you think of their oils and what wax you like to use them in. But anyways, I'm sending everyone peace, love, and light, and I'm so excited for part 2. I cannot wait to film it, but I hope that you all have an absolutely beautiful day, and I'm sending everyone peace, love, and light, and I'm wishing all of you happy candle making.